What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Take a quick look here at what we got today. We ended up taking out some short-term buy side. So we still like the idea of running up into these highs, and kind of like we spoke about on Friday, the fact that we can close back above this main 4-hour fair value gap consequent encroachment with the bodies. I would like to at least retest the high of it and potentially continue for this high up here. You'll see we actually closed right on this candle's high. Right, so just nice precision algorithmic signatures there. We'll see that on the lower time frame. We'll go straight to the 1 because we're really just using that. Move this 4-hour quickly. So we understand all of this is taking place within this 4-hour fair value gap, right? Kind of to begin with. So anything above that consequent encroachment, we would kind of favor longs, even if we're near it. Right? We just want to see that kind of act as support. Within this 4-hour, we also had this inversion. So we're really using this morning, this 4-hour fair value gap here. And then you'll notice the 5-minute as well. I can kind of show you that now. Right, so this was the 5-minute that we were playing off, just so you understand kind of what we're referencing as we get down into the lower time frame. Cool. So as we got here this morning, we spoke about how we wanted to see us hold basically at this 4-hour consequent encroachment. We had cleared out some equal lows. We had attempted to get back above the 4-hour fair value gap, but we had high impact news at 10. So we really had to wait for that to kind of really get an understanding of what price wanted to do. As we head into 10 o'clock, you notice that we trade into the low of this 4-hour fair value gap. We never close below it, only wicking. This candle opens below, but closes back inside. So never getting a closure below, which was good. We then hesitate at the bearish fair value gap. We would expect to see that, but if we're bullish, we should accelerate through that. So we hesitate, and then we displace right through that. At the same time, displacing through the midnight level, which is this dotted line, and actually leaving the 4-hour fair value gap. So once we saw that, right, we're also leaving a 1-minute fair value gap. We like that as our entry signal. We had cleared sell side here. So right, we have short-term low being cleared. We then accelerate through an inversion and we displace back above the higher time frame discount, especially leaving it with a 1-minute, right? So when things align like that, we like to see that. Cool. So we still have the execution here, right? As we traded back into this 1-minute, which is also the 4-hour, we're getting along there. Stop loss ends up being underneath this 4-hour consequent encroachment because we really have no intention to return under that if we're going to remain bullish. We end up running up into just this opposing premium, right? That becomes important later on. We run up into that, fall short, create equal highs. We retrace back into the original inefficiency, hold there, right? Really just consolidating in here. We finally are able to run into this consequent encroachment. That's why we took our partial, right? It was paired with this buy side as well. So we partial out at that swing high. Price continues to really just consolidate. We partial once again at the 8:30, and then eventually we actually retrace now into the 5-minute. Because we have to understand as we're doing all of this consolidation, we're actually engineering liquidity on a 5-minute sense. Right, so hide this. All this was that 1-minute consolidation. Notice how we have that 5-minute inefficiency just sitting there. So that becomes our area of interest. We said how as long as we can hold this 5-minute, we would still expect bullishness. And we want to see this high get taken out because we're really just completing this seek and destroy pattern here. So as we work our way back to the 1-minute, remember now this is that 5-minute we were just looking at. We wanted to see basically short-term lows being cleared as we returned into the 5-minute and then a discount being left as we returned above it. And we get just that, which is why we were confident going long. Right, this down close candle clears out these equal lows. We then break above this down close candle, breaking back above midnight. And we have that market structure shift listed here, but really we could just use that volume imbalance right away. So as soon as we had that volume imbalance be created, we put in our limit order. Even if you want to be safe, right, you want to wait for confirmation. As we spoke about, only after closing above this swing point here, right, this is the first candle to close above it. Only then do we actually retrace back into the volume imbalance. So either way, clean entry, once again, catching that short-term low. And then from here, just took a quick partial, right, as we ran into this opposing fair value gap. Just wanted to close one. We ended up closing our full position as we ran out this high here. So as we were kind of consolidating in here, just aiming for low-hanging fruit at this point, right? We didn't want to get too greedy. We already secured some partials. Price is showing that it's really choppy. So on this leg here, we're just trying to get in and get out rather quickly. which is why we had targeted this high, which was equal with 5 handles, right? And it's also returning into that inefficiency where we had already been holding. So just in case we wanted to return into that and hold, we wanted to be out by that time. And that's what we get. We get out right on that candle as we jam up into that fair value gap. Ultimately, we do run out that buy side we were looking for, right? These equal highs. So nice to see that, but we're fine not being apart. And then from there on, really just slight consolidation. And we actually run out to clear that low again, right? So once again, continuing the seek and destroy. We clear the high, we run out to clear out the low, giving you a nice setup here off new day opening gap, right? We clear a short-term low. We break above through this high, leave a fair value gap. That actually becomes a breakaway, instead using new day opening gap as support. And then from there, we just trend higher to now clear, buy side here. And then as we spoke about, we kind of had that 5-minute high paired with new week opening gap. So price falls just short of new week opening gap, retraces, and then ultimately we trade up into that, right? You see how that's holding us right now. Perfect delivery, actually. Nice to see there. But overall, right, if we go to a 5-minute, just seek and destroy today. So once again, hide all this. High, low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. At this point, I still favor highs. So we did have seek and destroy in here. We can kind of expect that, as we spoke about. Oftentimes after these large expansive moves, we run into that consolidation. But I would still want to see another run on highs. So for the time being, we'll kind of look for highs to continue to be ran, but we'll work with what we're given, just like today. Right? As long as price is moving and we understand what it's reaching for, we should be able to find something to take advantage of. So we'll be back tomorrow, same time, 9:50 Eastern. Right, high impact news at 10 again. Until then, have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk in the morning. Take care.